Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Teresa from Teresa's Spot for Art. Today we're going to paint a gold finch. Now, I struggle with birds, you guys, so this is helping me practice as well. Doing this with you guys, I have a flat number 12 and a liner brush. That's what we're going to be using today. And then I just have out a few colors. Black, white, yellow, and orange, and that's all you need. So, let me clean my brush, wipe it off, and we will get started. If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, please do. Okay, I'm going to load my brush with yellow and white. I'm going to make a little bit of a runway over here. I need some floating medium. I have that on my other plate. This is the floating medium. It helps your brush move. When you're painting on cardstock like I am today, the cardstock absorbs the moisture from the paint, and so it's a little bit harder for your brush to move. So the only brush I recommend using water with when I use these Folk Art Multi-Surface paints would be my liner brush. Okay, so I'm going to come in here. I've already sketched out my bird. I don't draw, you guys, I paint. And I'm coming in here and I'm base coating in my entire bird with the yellow and the white. Yellow tends to be a little translucent, so I might need two coats. I'm picking up the white and the yellow every time I load my brush. And I'm coming back in here. We don't have to do the tail, but we do have to do the bird. Pick up some more yellow. And see how fast my paint has dried? Even though I'm using the floating medium, even the floating medium gets absorbed right up from this cardstock. Okay? So when you're happy with your level of yellow in here, you can be done. So now I'm going to wash my brush, give it a little bit of a rinse, dry it off on my rag, and go into my black. If you want to get a pencil or a piece of chalk and put back in where your wing is, go right ahead. I'm just going to pick up some nice fresh black. And the first thing I want to do is do the circle top of my wing. And again, if you want to use a pencil to do this first, you can. And then I'm going to come down almost to the tail. Okay. I think it needs to be a little fatter, so I'm going to make it a little bit wider. Okay. And I'm going to fill this in with the black. I'm going to put a little bit of black on my brush, and I'm going to come up here. If you want to switch to a smaller brush or your liner brush, go right ahead. I'm kind of just using the corner, and I'm base coating in the head in black. Okay? Now I have the black on my brush. I'm going to fill in my tail feathers. Made a little bit of a jagged edge on the bottom. And then I'm just going to fill this in with my black paint. Okay, so now we have base coated in the main parts of our bird. I'm not going to wash my brush. I'm going to go right to the white. I'm going to pick up some white on the black. And I'm going to start adding in streaks of white. Keeping my brush upright. My fibers on my brush are nice and neat. When I start out with the white on the bottom, it's nice and fresh. And as I go up, it gets a little bit of gray. And I go right up into the body of the bird. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing back here. Pick up a little black. We're going to add a little bit of back feathers all the way up the back. I'm just doing little tiny strokes. They're a little bit longer on the bottom, and they get a little bit shorter as I go up. Okay? Go back to my white. And now I'm going to start adding in white to my wing. I have not washed my brush. I go pick up white. And each time I start a new row with my wing, my white is nice and bright, and then it gets a little bit more gray. And that's okay. We want nice white at the tips. And we want our wing to be a little bit more narrow at the bottom and a little wider at the top. Okay, and I'm going to wash my brush. Give it a dry. Now I'm going to come over here to the other side of my white. I want to pick up some nice fresh white. I'm going to add some nice fresh white here where the back feathers and the tail and the wing all meet. Okay? Then I want to put a little bit of some white highlight up in here on the top of the wing. I'm just pulling that in. I'm just going to scoop a little bit of this orange. Let me wipe off my brush. I had a little too much dark in there. So yellow and orange. And give a little bit of some shading to the underbelly here. If you put too much orange, it's okay. Wipe off your brush. Go back to the yellow. And you can fix it. With acrylic paint, it is very forgiving. You can fix anything. Okay, and I'm going to wash my brush. I'm going to switch now to my liner brush. Wipe that off. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. I'm going to get some of this orange and I'm going to fill in the beak. Beaks are sometimes like a diamond shape. They go back into the head a little bit, and then obviously they protrude out. That's a beak. Okay, but you want to make sure that it's set back a little bit into the face. Okay, I'm going to pick up some of my floating medium over here because I really want to lighten up my orange. I'm going to pick up a little bit of yellow. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to do the bird's cheek. So I'm going to put a little bit of pressure. I'm going to pull that around just to make a little bit of the bird's cheek. Okay? We want it to be a little translucent. Brighten it up a little bit with some white, and I'm just using the very tip of my liner brush. Okay? Then I'm going to dip the back of my brush and I'm going to give our guy a nice big dot for his eye. I'm going to get my liner brush again. I'm going to give him some feet. Okay, I'm just going to wipe off my brush. So I want to add a little bit of white to his little feet here. Okay. And now here's where these little details get really, really important. I'm going to pick up some of my green over here. Give him a little stick to stand on. Okay. Okay, now these were the little details are very important. Okay, so we're going to pick up a little bit of black and we're going to make the tip of the beak black. Pick up a little bit more black and we're going to make the line in our beak where it opens and closes. Okay. Wipe off my brush. And now I'm going to pick up a little bit of white and we want to do his eye. So we're going to put a nice big dot for our eye. Oh, gotta wait for it to dry a little bit. We'll come back. Let me pick up some of this yellow here. I just want to brighten up the back where his yellow is. I'm adding in yellow strokes, layering them in to look like feathers, all up and down. They're going in the same direction. I'm going to do the front ones. And they're just little tiny strokes layering over each other. I'm going to pull over the orange that we did for his belly. I can pull over his what do you call it, feet. So set them back like they're poking out from underneath the feathers. We want to leave the chin, the cheek rather, smooth. I added in all the rest of the feathers. And now I will go back to my eye. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of white. I'm going to put one dot, and then we're going to just put a little bit more of a dot. And then we want a little bit of a highlight up here on the top of his beak. If you want some bright white in these back feathers, you can add some. If you want a couple little fresh white in the tail feathers, let's lighten up our stick, highlight our stick, and there's our goldfinch. So what do you think, you guys? Have a great day, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.